Hey everyone, welcome back to another iiRcade Gamedaze Live. I'm your host, Michael, producer here at iiRcade. And of course, let's get into it. It's Gamedaze. Happy Friday, everybody. You know, we've had a big week, right? Update 9008000 was a pretty big one for us here. On top of that, of course, we announced and launched Rising Hell. As you can see, you know, my lovely background right here, of course. I had to blend in today in true Halloween spirit right now. Plus, today, we also launched the Ninja Kids, right? So another Taito title coming right at you, right here in the iiRcade. And of course, we have all those filters and lovely things that you can now use on it, right? Plus Pixel Perfect, which has been heavily requested, of course. But yeah, so let's get things started. So a couple little updates on top of the other updates, right? We did update Jukebox mode. So you should see an update for Jukebox mode. If you didn't, you can always uninstall, reinstall. It's a little tricky sometimes, but it should just, once you try to launch Jukebox, try to update it, or it should prompt you with an update message. And so that's going to include those features that I talked about a little bit on Tuesday, which is going to be the artist, the Bluetooth profile, essentially, right? So the artist features, so the song title along with the artist will display basically at the top of the screen. There's some UI changes, a little bit of button changes. So yeah, so again, still in beta, still getting worked on, just a little bit of a slower process, but generally speaking, it works just fine, right? So let's see, what else did we update? We updated Mariazacops. So I think somebody mentioned actually the Nintendo Switch was getting Mariazacops update. We actually got it first, which is kind of cool. So the Mariazacops update did go out on our system as well. So if you're a fan of Mariazacops, this is going to, oh my gosh, let's see, increase the firing speed immediately. So firing speed is no longer an upgrade in the game. It's given to you automatically at max speed. And then with that, you can purchase what ROE is your call it RO, return on energy. I don't know, but your RE is your power, right? Your bomb ability, essentially, right? So that actually can be increased now through purchasing in the store in game, is how that works out. And then there's some other updates too. Performance is a little bit better overall, which is great too in those areas of high bloom effects and things like that. So yeah, so Mariazacops updated. There's also an update for Dragon's Lair 2, and Space Ace. Not that you're going to notice any of these things. It's all back-end updates for us with the global leaderboards and things like that. This is just like it's data in the back end, basically. That's really all they got updated for Dragon's Lair 2, and Space Ace. So go ahead and update if you'd like, but no rush on that, of course. It's up to you if you even want to update at all. I always suggest updating, but it's not going to change the gameplay or anything like that. There's no crazy new features or anything like that, so don't worry about that. You're not missing out on anything. But yeah, so those are all the current updates that went out. So Jukebox, Mariazacops, Dragon's Lair 1, 2, and 3, plus all the other updates, right? But yeah, let me see. I haven't even looked at the chat so far. I'm so sorry. Hello, everybody. I saw some of you already a little bit earlier. Amazing update, Shampoo Swan. Every time I see the name Shampoo Swan, I love life. So I just love this name. So amazing update with everything. I'm sure there was a preview mode someday. Of course, other options are always going to be continuously added to, right? And we'll talk about that a little bit later on today. I definitely want to talk about some new features. But first, let's go into the games for the day, right? So in case you haven't seen yet, Ninja Kids. I do have a long machine behind me. I'm not really going to play too much today. A little bit of a lackluster day. But the Ninja Kids is a Taito title. There you go. I'll launch it actually, though. So this is a 4-player, technically 2-player beat 'em up. You get 4 characters to choose from is what it is. And they're actually different elements is actually the whole theme of the game. So that's hence the name of the show today, right? Most people just didn't know that about the Ninja Kids is that it's actually themed after elements, right? So earth, wind, fire, water. Those are the characters. That's why they're also the colors that they've chosen to. It's kind of a cool art style. They're like marionettes, sort of. It's like puppets. It's a little strange. I don't know why Taito went with that, but sure, I dig it. Why not? But it's a cool, action-packed little fighter, little beat-em-up game. So if you're looking for a new classic beat-em-up, definitely check it out. Highly suggest it. We like this game a lot. It's great for 2 players especially, playing with a buddy. And then, so yeah, so it's on the screen behind me. You can see my scroll going, of course, the different characters. If you're liking things like Ninja Turtle style games especially, this is pretty much as close as you're going to get, except for the game itself, right? So, but yeah, so more titles, more Taito titles, of course, out there. And of course, I want to talk about my favorite game right now, which is Rising Hell, right? So I see some of you guys going on the leaderboards already too, which is great. I'm waiting for you to up those ranks a little bit too, fill out all 16 different leaderboards that come with this game, right? So different difficulties, different maps, and of course the campaign itself is the one that you see listed. For Z on the leaderboards, I might take that out. We'll see, because there's 16 different leaderboards, so it's kind of like Retromania and stuff. I might remove that. We'll see, because really you just want to view them in game. But yeah. And I saw that some of you were using filters on top of so you're using our filters on top of their filters in game, because Rising Hell, in case you haven't played it yet, does come with its own different Scanlines, CRT, and other filter options, black and white, things like that. So in game it has those, but yeah, you can double up and use the iiRcade Scanlines and filters and stuff on top of your game there too, right? So it's good. It's always fun to double up. 2 different attract modes in it, of course. And fantastic gameplay. I haven't seen a negative comment on it yet, which is fantastic. I love it. It's a good game. It's a great game. It deserves all the praise it gets. Let's see. All right. We'll do some questions. We can do some questions now. That's fine. I'll go to some questions now instead of playing the game for once. But yes, if you're interested in viewing Rising Hell gameplay, though, I'll play a video in a second here. Don't you worry. So let me scroll up the list a little bit here. See if I missed any other questions. I know there was a bunch. I got to go all over the place in this list. Was the game update included in the fun? Yeah, the game update is always included in the fun. Free game updates for everybody, right? God, could you imagine if somebody made you pay for a game update? That'd be interesting. Not a DLC, but like an actual true just game update. That would be a nightmare. All right. Question, I see 6 at least here. Oops, here we go. Can we discuss the free and paid DLC for Dead Cells games? Not so much right now, too. Of course, we're always talking with the developers about getting DLC onto the system. So stay tuned on that one. I can't say too much about Dead Cells, but don't you worry. It's not necessarily just dead in the water once we put it on there. No. Clearly, we have a game update system. We can do things like DLC through that as well. DLC for Retromania is definitely coming, hands down. I can tell you that right now, DLC for Retromania is coming. When about, I'm not quite sure yet. Retrosoft is working real hard over there too. They just released it on PC, so don't you worry. And they're still working on characters as well. So, but Dead Cells is another game too. I know. Bad Seed and everything like that, right? Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see when maybe more DLC for the game comes out, and then we get a whole pack of that. We'll find out. But until then, Rising Hell is a fantastic roguelike platformer. Just saying. All right, what other questions do we have here? I can't let that monitor die over here. Let's see. Exposure. Ninja Kids is a good game. I agree, Travis. Ninja Kids is like a way underrated title in my opinion. It just kind of flew under the radar for a long time, but it's a fantastic beat 'em up. It's just a fun game. It's a fun classic arcade style game. Look forward to more Colico's. Maybe, Dave. We'll see. Again, the best way to get more Coleco games is to sell Coleco games, right? So the more people buying Coleco games gets us more incentive to get more Coleco games, right? Coleco games do pretty okay. Coleco games are fun too because they're just that really, really, really old school too. They're like that next level of like original, right? And they've got some great titles. We got the Jungle Hunt Coleco version instead too, right? Plus we got newer Coleco version titles, technically speaking, made in this day and age for Sydney Hunter series. Those are Coleco Vision games that you can actually buy the Coleco Vision cartridges for. All right, moving on right now. So I did want to talk about the update again, of course. I want to touch on it because we had a big show on Tuesday. With me and Zhang hosting from Korea for once, which was great. So 9008000. If you haven't updated yet, you're missing out. Definitely get on that update as soon as possible. Right now would be a great time to do it. Actually, suck your power cycle while you're listening to me talk. But so that update included Scanlines. That update included pixel perfect mode, along with options for smoothing style, of course. And then along with that came attract mode, right? System level attract mode, which you can switch on in the settings menu. If you haven't seen it yet, just go to your settings. There's an attract mode option in the settings. And then you have the option of 10 seconds, 30 seconds, and 1 minute settings currently. Will we add more settings? Yeah, we've heard you already. I know. We can probably add like a 5 and a 10 minute. But again, I don't know that you necessarily need that long because are you sitting in the menu for that long, that often that you like really want it to just sit in the menu for that long instead of doing something? I don't know. Everybody's got different preferences, so we can provide that though. That's not a hard one to change. And then Let's see. Yeah, so scanline options too. I've seen a bunch of you using scanline options, which is great, but I've also seen some other things where people don't realize that you have the options to do them, right? So when you look in your scanline options, I gave you that brightness option. The engineering team worked real hard on that. So yes, scanlines usually make it just super, super dark, depending. So I actually changed the opacity a little bit on all of them previously before I knew that we were going to be able to do adjustments, which is kind of cool. So I might go back and readjust them. But yes, so scanlines, whenever you're adjusting them per game. So if you launch a game, I don't know if you can see behind me really, you'll have the C button is going to be the options for scanlines. Of course, scanline darkness at the very bottom there. That big bright yellow bar on my screen right now, you can adjust it with X. You can see it going down, and Y to go back up. So fully dark is what it starts at. But if you do want it more less opaque, I guess I should say less opaque, less dark is really what it is. That's why I called it the darkness setting. Then you have the option to switch it down. Cool. And then I'll save. And for a game like Rising Hell 2, I saw some of you were kind of confused a little bit on the fact that smoothing and Pixel Perfect is not in there. So any modern game is not going to have a filtering option. There's a good reason for that. It's because developers make their games already in the mode that they want them to be in, right? So that's why that option doesn't exist. The option for filters is only there for classic arcade games, and that's it. That's just how it works. That's how it works on our OS. That's just how it works, right? Plus, you don't really need filters. These guys make good games. Pixel Perfect versus smoothing especially is just for those classic retro arcade games, especially just because, of course, there's just different ways to play them nowadays. And since, they used to come on these screens that were not even, less than 720p, even less than that, it's crazy. But that's what it was back in the day. So now that we have new options nowadays that we're scaling them up, they get blown up. Things look bad that way too. So now Pixel Perfect is a better option typically, right? So that you can get them sort of looking like they were in their heyday, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, all the options are there. They're there for you to use or to not use too. So totally up to you. But with that said too, I would love, let's go. Are you guys liking the scanline options? Are you guys liking the attract mode? Are you guys liking the Pixel Perfect? Let me hear it. Drop me a comment if you're watching this later on today, or just drop me a note right now in the chat and I can look through everything. Let me get some feedback on scanlines and Pixel Perfect, attract mode. Because remember that I'm actually the one handcrafting all the scanlines and the attract modes right now for you, right? So come straight to the source. So if you got a gripe with it, let me hear it. I want to know. This is my first time ever making scanlines, right? So I just did my research and was like, I think people will like these. So CRT especially, I like CRT more than I thought. Yeah. So CRT is a little bit rough. That was kind of like a last minute thing that I just kind of came up with. It was like, hey, we can do a cool little effect. Why not? So we tried it. It seems to be working. It's great for games that are full screen, but some games that aren't quite in the right aspect ratio, especially with old school arcade games that we aren't adjusting the ratios on. So like Raston, say, it has really thin black bars, right? So like it's not a huge deal, but I might make a couple extra filters to just have different scaling options for it so that the CRT comes down a little bit more, so it doesn't quite throw off the effect with a really straight line going across the top or the bottom. We'll see. But I'm glad you guys are liking CRT. CRT or Pixel Perfect for me. Ooh, both. Insert coin burnt into the screen. Question, what we see in screen? Oh, I see what you're saying. Maybe. I could add that one just for you, maybe, Dave. We'll see. I see what you're talking about now. A couple different, maybe I'll just burn in a couple different game screen effects for you. That's an interesting one to add to the CRT, especially, right? To give it that like really, really like old school arcade feel, right? Oh man, dead pixels and burnt in pixels all the time. Amazing for Dragon's Lair, yeah, great. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. If there's no negative feedback, that's great for me. So, all right, what other questions do you guys have about scanlines, filter options, attract mode? I did update the attract mode today, too, by the way. It's pretty much the same as it was 2 days ago. I wasn't going to completely change it right now, but it does include Rising Hell now. And I took out Beach Buggy 2 and put in Rising Hell in its place. And then also it's got the games you might have missed section for today too. Those are now in the attract mode for today. You see, all right. Questions. Give me those questions on filters, scanlines, and attract mode. Let's see here. Brian Stump. Will pause turn into a track mode if we wait? Pause. Like if you're paused in a game, is that what you're talking about? If that's the case, no. The answer is no on that, not right now. You have to be out of the games and in the menu to actually access the system level track mode. It's not a bad idea to have it for the pause as well too, because it's paused, right? It's just a little bit more difficult, and this was kind of like a last minute thing thrown in there for this patch. So this is like the very base level, but yeah, we can look into things like that. It's not a bad idea at all. Scanlines and Pixel Perfect. Jackson, great. Thank you. Actual feedback. Yes, perfect. That's what I wanted. Scanlines and Pixel Perfect are fantastic. CRT filters. I like the warping effect, but the screen glare is a bit overdone. That's true, yeah. If you want to get fancy, I like phosphor barrels filters. Yes, I've looked into phosphor a bunch too. But yeah, so that CRT filter was like a last minute thing too that I threw together myself just off the top of my head and was like, I think this might look okay. So luckily it looks kind of okay. But yeah, that screen glare, depending on the game that you're in especially, some games look totally fine with it, and other games are a little bit, it depends on the brightness of the game and the darkness, right? So these filters aren't going to be perfect for every single game. You can technically adjust it, but I know then it adjusts that blackboard on the outside as well too, so it sort of loses the effect, the optical illusion of it, right? But something to work on for sure. And I'm definitely thinking about that a lot. Let's see. What other questions do I have right now? Screen glare is over. Yes. I can always take down the screen glare effect. If everybody is not liking the screen glare effect that much, I can always tone it down a little bit too. It's not a hard adjustment for me. So yeah. All right. Any other questions right now on the update, things that are going on? Let me see. I keep missing a lot in the chat too. Sorry. All right, cool. I'll keep going. That's fine with me. Quick day for me today. It was a big day on Tuesday, so I'm kind of glad everybody's kind of sated right now, huh? We're just kind of relaxing, having a good day, right? I hope you guys are actually playing Rising Hell and the Ninja Kids too. If not, pick it up for the weekend, definitely. But yes, so let's go into games you might have missed, right? So because I love my games you might have missed, it's like my favorite section ever. So first game for the games you might have missed section is going to be Love Lots. Let me know if I need to adjust the volume too. I haven't actually heard it yet myself today, so if I got to turn it down, let me know. But so Love Lots are really cool little platformer. It's a pixel art platformer, which is great. You play as a knight who literally all you can do is jump, dash, and you can shoot. So you get a little bubble gun, which is kind of cool too. And basically the entire premise of the game is that you're saving these princesses. You're getting gifts for them. Each princess in their tower respectively wants a gift. So she wanted a flower. So you went, got the flower, and then you have to bring it up, climb her hair, get in the tower. Cool. But then subsequently the next level is you just leaving this princess for another princess, right? So that's why it's called Sir Lovelot. He's kind of a player. And a lot of people kind of miss this title, but it is the level design on this game and the art style and the music, it's just wonderful. I love it. It really gives that like storybook kind of feel too, even though it's pixel art, which is great, especially with the music. But the gameplay and the level design, especially later on, is just phenomenal. It's beyond it. So like very low-key title that just kind of flew under the radar. So I definitely want to bring this one back up today. It's one of my favorite games to play personally too on the system. But if you're looking for a cool little puzzling platformer, very simplistic but also very difficult towards the end too. It ramps up real quick. This is a great one. So this is Sir Lovelot. That's what you're looking for. The next game I wanted to talk about, I actually don't have a video for, but it is in the attract mode right behind me, which is kind of cool. So this is actually Armed Police Unit Gallop, which is actually the third, I believe, part of the R-Type series. Is it? It's not really it's not sequential. So R-Type 1, R-Type 2, and Armed Police Unit Gallop, I don't think they're actually sequential. I could be wrong on that, but they are all in the same universe. They're all in the R-Type universe. So it is going to have that R-Type feel, especially in mechanics, but it adds a few new ones as well. So, and this is probably the latest installment in the title in the R-Type series as well, too. So this is the third game in the series. Let me see here. Yes, Kev, this is the one who made Siggy, yes. It's the same developer who made Siggy for Sir Lovelot. They're a fantastic developer, too. That is Pixel LU, by the way, pixel.lu. All right. So, third game, right? Third game is probably my favorite game on the list, honestly. Closest to Love Live. But as a lot of you might know, I'm a big Congo Bongo fan. So, and I'm pretty okay at this game, according to the leaderboards. So, Congo Bongo it's an isometric sort of Donkey Kong, kind of, right? So, it's a Sega game. It's another Sega title, which is great. Really old school Sega title. As you can see here, you play as a safari hunter hopping along. You're trying to catch the gorilla that burned your feet in your tent last night. So every single level or every single game starts off with the gorilla burning your feet, and then basically you're trying to boil that gorilla alive, sort of. It's kind of brutal. But yeah, you're going to dodge things like monkeys, rhinos, snakes, and then there's 4 levels. But then once you get there, you're basically going to heat up the gorilla in the pot, and then once you get through there, you're going to cycle back through other levels, but there's going to be new baddies on each level, right? New enemies on each level. So you'll basically get back to this point, and then there'll be more snakes or rhinos and other things like that pop out too. There's moles. There's a bunch of stuff in this game too. Hippos, of course, there. You can see hippos, scorpions. They're all over the place. A bunch of different critters for you to hop around. It's one of my favorite games, though, and I find it super competitive. This is a really challenging game, especially being in that isometric view. It gets crazy because it just kind of messes with your head going up, down, left, right, but in an isometric view, way different. You get used to it. But yeah, so I love Congo Bongo, and Congo Bongo does have global leaderboards as well. So get on there. You see here. All right, take this out of the stream. 6, I see a question here. Using a 4-way constrictor gate? No, I play just stock. I do not need a restrictor gate for this machine. I don't know why people do, honestly. But that's fine. If you want to use a restrictor gate, go for it. More power to you. I just don't need one myself. I can play up, down, left, right. I don't know. I hit it in a slot every time. You see. And I do that on my machine at home, too, instead of just the one in my office, which is weird. This is one of the games that I actually do play at home. Funny enough. Yes, Congo Bongo is crazy unforgiving, 100%. Okay. All right. But yeah, so that does it for games you might have missed today, right? I always picked 3. And they're all in the attract mode. They're all at the top of the store right now, too, of course. Not the recent section, but oh my gosh, there's a section at the top. My brain is not working too well today. I'm so sorry. But the featured section, there we go. They're at the top of the featured section. So you can find Sir Lovelot, Armed Police Unit Gallop for the R-Type fans. And then on top of that, Congo Bongo. They're all up there for you for easy pickings. Plus, this week's theme is, what did I do this week? Spooky Week. That's right. So I got games like Skellboy, of course. My favorite, Skellboy. I love Skellboy. Skellboy, Night Slashers. Siggy's actually up there, too, because that's sort of a Ghost and Goblins kind of game. A lot of different mythical creatures in that game, too. That's why. Bogey Manor, I know, is up there, too. White Knight, of course. White Knight, if you've never checked out and experienced that game, too, I highly suggest picking that one up. White Knight's also from Playdigious. Who gave you Dead Cells. Different developer, same publisher. But yeah, so White Knight is a black and white noir sort of game too. If you're looking for a very spooky, very ghosts are going to scream at you and pop out kind of game, White Knight. Play it in the dark. Play it in the dark during a thunderstorm especially. It's fantastic, but play it with the lights out. Highly suggest it. Crank up the volume. These fantastic speakers behind me here, they work so well for that game. But yeah, you'll find other spooky games in the list this week too. So Halloween's coming up. I want to do a spooky themed list. So, and maybe next week I'll do a spooky attract mode like I talked about on Tuesday. We'll see. Love attract mode. Thank you, Endless One Up. And again, attract mode is going to change pretty much every single week. So you'll see a new mix of games in there. This week, of course, it's only been like 2-3 days, so I didn't update the full list of games, right? But like next week, I'll change all the games that are in it, right? So on top of games you might have missed and stuff. And again, we might do different themes each week. We might do, I might do different requests. We're going to see where attract mode takes us all together as a community. Honestly, that's why we wanted this feature too. On top of like for retail and things, we wanted this mostly for you guys because you asked for it. And because you asked for it, I would love to get like, what do you want, right? I know you want options too to save different attract modes. That would be really cool. It's not existent yet, but those are things that we might add down the line. Again, this is sort of the base level, right? Okay, what else? Let's go Q&A. Got through my spooky themed week. Q&A, let's talk about games, updates, anything you guys want to talk about today as far as iiRcade goes, or me, I don't know. Are there any filters, actually? Not filters, I shouldn't say filters. Are there any other scanlines that you might want right now? If you do want different scanline options, put them in the chat right now for me to see. And I can go through those a little bit, kind of highlight different features. No one wants different scanlines. That's fine. I don't have to add more scanlines. But I can adjust the CRT one. I can do that. The glare on the CRT. We can do that a little bit. I see Brian's got a question. With the track mode being MP4, does this mean we can maybe add our own track mode videos in future? Maybe. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes to that. It's not in the works currently. However, sorry, I'll pull that one back up. It'd be cool. It'd be cool, right? The problem is we got to store all those on the server because there's no USB on here for various reasons, mostly for licensors and stuff like that, right? So no sideloading games and stuff. It's pretty easy to crack with USB. But yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see about like storing them on your account, basically having like an attract mode that you can upload to your account and putting to the machine. Again, yeah. This is brand new. We'll think about that. Why not? I would love to give you guys that customization too. Of course, like I would love to have this as customizable as possible, right? That's the whole point of having an arcade console instead of just a singular arcade machine, right? That you just have to pick one and then buy a new one. The more options that I can give you on this thing, the better. That's the plan, right? So, and I would love to do that for you. I see Prince Malcolm, the sneak peek for Halloween. Maybe we'll see. Stick around and find out. Maybe I got some things in up my sleeves for next week. Halloween's one of my favorite holidays, so maybe. Question I noted. Oh, chat's jumping. I'm so sorry. There we go. I noticed Dragon's Lair got an update, but it wasn't the new leaderboard. Can you touch on both? So it's not a new leaderboard or anything like that, too. It's just better back-end stuff for us as far as the global leaderboards is what that fixed. And it got added into, since that's our development platform. So Dragon's Lair 2, and Space Ace were developed in-house by us. So we added our own sort of back-end stuff to that to give us better data on the leaderboards themselves, if that makes sense too. It's not like player data or anything like that too. It's just like better features for the leaderboards going forward and better connectivity to them, better ways to post scores, stuff like that. And that's just getting fed on the back end. That's really all that went into that update. Again, gameplay did not change one bit. There's zero things on the front end that changed. So it's still the exact same version of the game as before. Nothing's changed there because Dragon's Lair and Dragon's Lair 2 and Space Ace are perfect. I'm just saying. All right. What? Get a haircut since Tuesday? I have not gotten a haircut since Tuesday. This is the same hair. Quick tutorial. All right, Brian, here we go. A quick tutorial on how or what Scanlines do. I'm not familiar with them. Sure. Yeah. So totally understand because I wasn't actually familiar with Scanlines too much until starting at the company, honestly. Right? So Scanlines basically just mimic old cathode ray tube TVs, right? So CRT is cathode ray tube. That's those old boob tube TVs that you used to get because they had a cathode ray tube inside, right? So the monitor was rounded, it was arced, it was that big glass, heavy thing inside. It had like huge, massive backs. Since then, we've switched, clearly our flat screen TVs and stuff like that too. This monitor is not a CRT. But yeah, so this effect basically mimics a lot of those old school arcade designed like feeling, right? So it's more of a nostalgia factor than anything for Scanlines. So all Scanlines do is they basically add, I've got a black bar of pixels going across, and then I've got an empty space, a clear space, right? So you can see the game on one pixel, but the one above is completely black, right? And it just mimics that pattern over and over again, right? So it's just black line, no black line, black line, no black line, black line, no black line. That's like a typical not CRT, but a typical Scanline effect, right? And with that, I added more options. So like the CRT 2x option for horizontal and vertical, that just is 2 pixels wide and 2 pixels clear and 2 pixels wide, 2 pixels clear. And other ones too, there's the grid effect too, because some people like the grid effect. That's a totally different type of screen. That's more of a big actual lit billboard kind of screen too. I like to call it my light bright effect is what I like on that one too. These are just different screen types that over time have sort of gotten cycled out because we have better technology today, right? But it mimics that nostalgia effect is really what Scanlines are for. So again, totally up to you if you want to use them. Some games actually look better with them to me. Some games look better without. But again, that's all personal preference. So again, I highly encourage all of you in the chat, look through them And every single game is different to me too. I like certain effects on some games, and other games I like totally different effects. Some effects I feel look like garbage on some games, honestly, and other games that look great on. So it's really just a personal preference though. But yeah, so that's all the Scanlines are doing for you, is just adding that nostalgia factor. Phosphor barrel filter. I know, Jackson. I'm gonna look into phosphor barrel. Don't you worry. Can I do it myself? That's the real question. Few track mode presets, Gordon, here we go. So yeah, more feedback on attract mode. This is what I was looking for, especially. So I still think you should just have a few attract preset options. Yeah, so it's possible, it's potential we might go that way later on in time. We'll see. We'll see about it though. Attract mode's sort of brand new. We gotta feel it out a little bit, right? So this is the base level. We'll see where we go from here. What's nice right now is that I can change it and customize it for you whenever we want on the fly. So if I did a bunch of pre-builds, it's a little different. If I did like purchasable packs, maybe, we'll see. We'll see. But again, the more video files that I put onto your system for you to store, remember too, that is going to take up more space on your drive. And these are not necessarily the smallest files. Most of these video files are around 100 megs. They're sort of 75 to 100 megabytes each is about right. So right now you're only storing one on there. However, I add like a pack of 5, right? You know, it's almost half a gig of data right there. So we'll see. But again, I mean, nobody's filling up these things. Gene hasn't even filled it up yet, and Gene has every single game purchased from the store, right? So you can't fill up this machine right now, even if you purchase all the games. I have proof of this. So there's plenty of space. But again, do I want to take up more space? We'll see. We'll see. But again, there's different ways to do it too. Cloud streaming from the server, stuff like that. All right. Oh, I see more questions. Awesome. Could a cabinet boot directly into attract mode? That would negate the need to have boot up sound implemented. Sort of. Totally different monster right there too. So boot up sound is one beast entirely. At a kernel level, this is different. This is really, really deep in the motherboard stuff, right? Very different than just playing a video, right? And we're still working on different features like that too. Again, we're young. We're young, everybody. Keep in mind, again, this is still year 1. We haven't even hit a year yet. This is like month 8 or 9. So we're getting there. We're getting there. But yeah, we'll see. I do probably want to set attract mode on by default, though. It's probably my next fix. Right now, it's set to off by default, right? We chose to do that this round, but I might actually set that to like a minute or so, just by default going forward. We'll see. It really won't affect. It probably won't affect the next update and things like that too. You won't notice it, but somebody with a freshly flashed machine will notice it, right? So it'll just be automatic for them, as well as having one permanently installed onto the machine that can be replaced after that, right? So when you get one, if somebody buys a brand new machine, right, they would just have one automatically installed. That would probably be like a retail one, and then whenever the next push went out for the update for attract mode, then they would get the new attract mode, right? So we get one more thing today. We'll see, Dave. We'll see. I gave you 2 good games this week plus a software update. You want more stuff from me? Okay. All right. CRT with no glare, please. So there has to be a glare is the thing with the CRT filter. There's a reason for that because it actually gives part of that optical illusion. So I can't necessarily do it without the glare. It just wouldn't. It seems like it would work out. It doesn't. I tried it actually a couple different ways. This was not my first one. But yes, so I can't really do no glare on the CRT one. I can lessen the glare for sure, but I can do different glares as well too to sort of get them out of the way and play around with lighting and stuff. Yeah, it sort of has to be gradiented. It's really about that gradient style is what really gives that 3D optical illusion of a rounded screen on top of the fact that the sides are rounded, right? But yeah, I'll play around with it. Don't you worry. Again, this is great feedback. We can keep adding more. We can adjust these scanline features. This is just the base level. And again, they're literally made by hand by me, so I would love feedback because this is my first go at it. So all I did was just study all the other machines and all the other CRTs and stuff that existed and just said, hey, these look pretty okay. I think this is what people are looking for. So Spooky Hockey would be great. Gordon, man, Spooky Hockey would be fantastic right now. Diagonal scan lines are pretty cool. Yeah, I got no diagonal scan lines in there, do I? So that might be an interesting one to play with too. I didn't know that really existed on any sort of type of CRT TV. But maybe there's a different screen that I haven't seen before that did have sort of diagonal lines. So if somebody's got one, let me know. Let me know. Let's see. Okay, good. Sega question. I can't really answer to Sega questions right now, unfortunately. Stay tuned on Sega. Again, game publisher or game licensors, I should say, really. Licensing games like that just takes a little bit more time. Conversations are always ongoing. We never close doors with anybody, too. We're not trying to burn bridges with somebody if they don't give us a game. That's never going to happen. But like old school licensors, especially, it takes a little bit of time. And of course, game sales drastically speed that process up, right? But right now, it's about getting more devices in the hands of people, just bring more games to you guys in general. So more Sega titles, though, absolutely, we're working towards that. Plus, I'm a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan, I'm just saying. Okay, let's see. I can't really talk about licensing too much more than that otherwise, too. Sorry to say. When he gets to choose the games for. Ooh, this is an interesting idea, Travis. Thank you for this. If people are interested in this, put a 1 in the chat right now. Put a 1 in the chat if you want next trivia winner to choose the games in the next attract mode. Put a 1 in the chat. Let me see them. If I see no 1s, then this might not happen. But if this is something people want, then let me know. Okay, maybe. We'll see. If we get enough, I'll let you guys know. Okay. Again, it's kind of a neat thing. I got 1 no so far. Don doesn't like it too much. We'll see. Sonic is overrated. How doth you, sir, first off? But that's fair. Teach their own. That's the beauty of the machine too, right? This is literally just what we tout. This is our whole motto, right? A la carte arcade, right? You get 1 machine, put whatever games you want on it. If you want a game, cool. If you don't want a game, awesome. Great. It's still there for you, though, if you ever change your mind on it. And I do highly suggest people who are either into just retro games or just into modern games, too, to try a little bit of both, to dabble. We've got some really cool hidden gems on the system that even I had never heard of before that we have licensed, right? Games like Mysterious Stones was like kind of a big one for me that I was like, this is a cool arcade game that I've never experienced before in my life. It's not the best game ever, for sure. I can tell you that. But I like Mysterious Stones. It's my taste. It sort of appeals to me, even though it might not appeal to somebody else. But there's a lot of games on the system like that. So again, pick and choose the games you want. But I would say definitely every now and then try some games you might not think that you'll like. There's always the 30-minute demo period too. So if you ever want to download a game, you have half an hour to try it out and refund it. If you totally hate it within the first 10, 15 minutes, get rid of it. It's your option, right? So that's what we're all about. I just like games, honestly. I just like a lot of games. How many cabs are around the world? I can't speak to that right now. There's enough though. There's plenty out there right now. I can tell you that. All right, this is great. Okay, maybe we'll do this then. Okay, maybe we'll do a trivia question attract mode. I'm gonna make it like the hardest question ever. Is all I'm saying. It'll probably be iiRcade related or classic arcade game related, or maybe modern game related. We'll see how I'm feeling. Pretty spicy that day. This might be a series of a couple questions. We'll see. But yeah, that was Travis. Thank you for that idea. I love it a lot. So this is what I was looking for in attract mode. I want to know like how we can do better things or fun things with it. Again, if you don't like an attract mode, don't worry too much. It'll only last like a week right now, right? And then it'll change. So if you hate it, great. If you love it, awesome. I do try to mix them up as much as possible. Choosing Slurpee and eggs for rainwater. That's great. I actually thought about doing that this past week. No joke. Slurpee is a fantastic title in case you've never picked it up. Let's see, Don. Here we go. This is also good feedback. So not a fan of attract mode showing off a bunch of games I don't own. If I'm showing off the cabinet, it feels stupid to say, oh yeah, I don't have that game. So I get that. I totally hear you on this. However, because this is an arcade console and not just a standalone arcade unit, right? This isn't just a Windjammers machine, and this isn't just a Rage of the Dragons machine, and this isn't just a Dead Cells machine, right? We kind of want to emphasize that fact all the time, right? And even though you might not have these games, it might also introduce you to games that you didn't even know existed, which is great. Because with a couple hundred games now on the store, it's easy to miss them. I miss them all the time too. And I have to, have them running through my head nonstop. So I don't ever really want a static attract mode with just one game. I don't think we're ever going to plan on doing that. Simply for that reason. It's just because we are like a multi-cade, we're an arcade console. And I don't want to show off just one game. If you want to show off just one game, though, you can launch that game and play the attract mode on that machine. That's totally fine. That's up to you. These games have their own great attract modes in them. Dragon's Lair and Space Ace, of course, are like my two favorite attract modes that I keep running all the time, like expos and stuff, because I just like watching them play over and over again. Plus, you can do all the death animations and stuff. I like that one. But yeah, so if you're looking for a specific game or specific type of game, launch that game, and you can keep the system level attract mode off. That's probably the best way to do that. Okay. But yes, I do hear you. I do hear your feedback. So again, base level, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking of better ways to suit everybody right now. Have two of them on NFL Raz. I know, Mike, you've been patiently waiting your NFL cab. I know. Then you're gonna have your own LAN party then. I'm waiting to watch that. I can come over and LAN with you. I'm just saying, you live in Chicago too. I know you do, Mike. I'll come over and play some games with you in case you ever invite me. Just invite a stranger into your home. Why not? All right. Which load runner is your favorite? This is an interesting question. Okay. Yes, more Q&A right now, though, for sure. We're pretty chill today, so relax. It's a big day on Tuesday. So which load runner is my favorite? 4 is my favorite. Mostly because it's like 2-player mode. I like having the option to play together. So yeah, the other load runners are multiplayer, but they're one at a time. Whereas I'm pretty sure load runner 4, if I'm not going crazy, is 2 at once. I might be wrong on that. I don't think I am though. But yes, I would say load runner 4. There's also a new version of load runner 2. All right, subliminal advertising, Kev. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do with the attract mode. In case you didn't know, I'm actually flashing images in there, just trying to get you to buy some game. All right, I love it. Don't mess with it. Great name, Mike. I'm just saying, just doubling up our names right now. Yeah, so that's the thing too, is that I get that maybe I make an attract mode that just hits the spot for you for some reason, right? And then next week it changes and you don't like it anymore. I'm gonna feel bad about that. So I'm definitely working on ways to either save it maybe, or do something else with attract mode. Again, maybe different packs that you can download and find on the store or something like that. We'll see. Is it going to come anytime soon? Probably not. Just a heads up on that one too. We've got bigger fish to fry at the moment too, going into holiday season. So things are backlog, other fixes and stuff like that too, other features to nail down. So, but yeah, I totally get it. Attract mode, we're working on it. When does my power button light up? I've only seen it once. So as long as you have a machine that has the new power button, it should be lit up all the time whenever the machine is turned on. If not, it could be a potentially wiring issue, and you can send an email to contact@iiRcade.com and say, hey, my light up button, my power button isn't working too great. Let me know. And I haven't personally seen that issue on any of the new light up power buttons at all. So that'd be an interesting one that's new to me. But yeah, if you have a light up power button, let me know. Please sell a neon iiRcade sign. Gordon Lemon, I hear you. All right. We've been going for like over 40 minutes now. We're pretty good. Any other questions that I can answer right now? Otherwise, we'll call it a day. We'll have a good weekend. It's Friday. I hope some of you at least are off work already. If not, you're working from home. You can play some Rising Hell in the background, play some Ninja Kids in the background. Or, of course, play some Sir Lovelot in the background, which is literally one of my favorite games on the cab. In case you've missed Sir Lovelot, highly suggest that I really do. It's honestly one of my favorite games. Question, I have a dead pixel. Travis, oh no. Any way to fix it? There's no way to fix a dead pixel. There's no resurrections on dead pixels, unfortunately. There's no extra lives on them. If you do have a dead pixel and stuff like that too, again, if you're still under warranty, which technically you all should be, send an email to contact@iiRcade.com and we can look into it. Especially if it's a severe one, especially if it's like really bothering you, let me know. Let me see here. Oh, I see 6. Okay. Does the new power button come on Retromania cabs? The newer editions of Retromania cabs, it does, yes. The base edition, when it first came out, did not make it in time for that, but brand new editions of Retromania do have it, yes. So again, these are features that continuously get updated on the machines, right? So I can't update your machine because it's a different board in that machine. You don't have the cables essentially to plug into that. So I can't just like upgrade everybody's board. It doesn't work that way. This is sort of things that, again, we change. We're going to keep adjusting and changing things over time, of course. No machine is ever going to be like, when we release a new version of the machine, I can't just like pedal back and like always upgrade you. We're trying to do as much as possible. But the good thing at least is that your firmware and everything, your system software and your speakers and stuff like that too, these are all the same. These are identical. So you're not missing out on those kind of features and stuff like that. There's no bonus feature on the brand new machines, right? It's all the same software, same way to download games, same way to upload games, all jazz. iiRcade Christmas ornaments for everybody. Maybe. We did this last year, right? Unfortunately, they didn't make it there in time for a lot of you, which kind of was null and void. But yeah, when people were receiving their machines, especially Kickstarter backers that were sort of having issues with shipping and stuff last year, I know we sent out Christmas cards just to sort of, say like, hey, it's coming. We tried our best, but we couldn't make it in time, unfortunately. So we wanted to at least send you like a little notification. And we weren't doing quite as many shows and stuff back then too. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll do more ornaments this year. I don't know. Space Invaders released. When did Space Invaders release? Hasn't released yet on the kit. Not quite. Space Invaders is still on the list for coming soon. Ooh, arcade or the newer one. Yes, both are still in the works. Space Invaders Infinity Gene is the newer version that you're talking about. And that's a game that the soundtrack is really good. You can actually like play different beats and stuff like that too. You can sort of DJ in that game. It's kind of interesting. I thought it was cool feature they had. Have a backdrop option like the real arcade ones. If you're talking about the meteors and stuff like that, right? Not currently. We'll see. We'll see about that though. Again, that game is still sort of in the works, and we'll see what Taito kind of cooks up with us on that one. Yep. Yeah. The meteor screen. Yeah. We'll see. Maybe I can just add a meteor overlay for you for that. It would be interesting to just have a Scanline skin that just said like Space Invaders. You're like, just like new space, meteorites. Here, go, travel to space overlay. We'll see. Yes. No, I know what you're talking about. I do know what you're talking about for that. Perfect Halloween release. Yeah, maybe. Perfect Halloween release is actually Rising Hell, in my opinion. So, and it's out now. That's literally, I pushed so hard for this game to release in time for Halloween, just around Halloween in October. That's why it was timed the way it was. And it came out just in time, and I loved it. The Moreau screen effect. Cool. Okay, yeah. Any chance we'll get digital marquee toppers or something similar? Stay tuned on that. Stay tuned on that. I can't really answer that right now. I know you all want marquees. Technically, there's at least solutions in the marketplace right now for you on Etsy and stuff. You can always ask around the community groups. Of course, a ton of people in community groups have their marquees and things like that they've bought from Etsy and stuff too. I'm not telling you to go to an outside company necessarily to buy new things, but yeah, if you want to, there's plenty of options that exist, at least currently in the place right now, not currently for us. And with shipping the way that it is, we'll see how things go by the end of the year. But yes, we would love to have a marquee on this machine though, of course. As you can see though, I did mod mine behind me. This does blink. It's actually voice activated and stuff like that too. It's audio activated. I don't have it on mode right now. It's just sitting on blue because with the green screen, when it gets to green stuff, it makes the speakers go all weird and stuff. Spooky hockey. I would love spooky hockey. I think I saw one more question up here too. I'll probably let's go like 3 more questions and then we'll be done for the day. We'll call it. So if you got like your heavy hitter questions right now, let me know. Okay, going down the list here. For a jukebox mode game, do you mean like a rhythm-based game with jukebox mode? Because that would be interesting. So if you wanted to do it with your own music kind of stuff, that would be extremely complex. Even the big guns have not done that in AAA games, right? The guys who made like Guitar Hero and stuff, even they haven't done that level of stuff, right? You can customize and make your own. That's something they've done before. But to do like a full game based off of jukebox with the stuff that you're playing, that's a monster. I mean, that's some serious code work right there. It'd be cool though. It'd be cool. Is there plans for that? No, no. Rhythm games, though. Stay tuned on rhythm games. I would love to have some rhythm games on here too. And remember that I am working on my own games all the time for this right now too, even though I haven't released Jean Pong yet. Don't you worry. Jean Pong's coming. Spooky Hockey. I swear, Gordon, I want Spooky Hockey so badly. Does Spooky Hockey exist? If Spooky Hockey exists, let me know. And I can go after that game. Official four-way gate. Not currently. We'll see. We are playing around with gates, of course. Honestly, all the features we're always playing around with all the time, right? I say that all the time because we truly are. We always want to know if there's better ways of doing things. Having a dedicated four-way gate, it's interesting. Most of our games play with eight-way gates, so it wouldn't be smart or in our favor to have a dedicated four-way gate. Having an option to sort of switch easily between a four-way and an eight-gate would be interesting. Luckily, we've got cool solutions like what Gunther prints all the time too, that you guys mostly have. Those are great solutions, and we totally welcome them. Are we playing around with ones ourselves? Sort of. But nothing in the works that I can think of currently to just dedicate a four-way gate on the cab now. And again, I never want to limit this cab to just one type of game either. If it's four-way or eight-way even, that's still a big limitation that I never want to do to this. But if I can let you switch easily, that's where it's at. So this question gets asked a lot, new theme cabs. We talked a little bit about this on Tuesday. Can't really speak on that right now, though. Plan for 2021. Again, keep in mind for 2021, most companies right now too on top of us, shipping stuff that's been shipped. If it wasn't shipped by now, it's probably not making it here by Christmas, just so you know. That's just like a blanket effect right now for everybody. If it's coming across seas, particularly, if it hasn't been shipped already across seas, it's probably not making it here this year, no matter what it is. So unless it's come by air. If it's come by air, sure. If it's come by ship, absolutely probably not. Discount for existing iiRcade's owner purchase. Again, I can't make any promises on this, Gordon, but these are things that we definitely think about, of course. I'm not trying to be like, oh my gosh, you bought one, now I got to make you buy a whole new cab. That's not the plan. That's not the plan. I'm not trying to maliciously make you buy new cabs nonstop, right? I get that these are pricey. I get it. This is not a medium purchase for most people, right? Luckily, if you're looking for a cab that just does a lot of different stuff, though, that's what we do, right? And that at our price point, I love it. You just can't really get better for the components that are in this thing. There's a reason that we tote our premium quality, right? You've all built your own, right? You feel it. This thing is a monster of its own. It's heavy. It weighs a lot. We don't skimp on parts on this thing, right? So getting you new parts is also costly for us. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, I would love to have additional upgrades for the base level machine. I would love to be able to just update your boards and things like that. Not update your boards. Your boards are already getting updated by me. But update different parts of the machine that you could, plug and play kind of thing. We'll see. All right, I got one more question, maybe two more questions. Okay, the chat just jumped a lot. Great. Can you sell skins? Not currently, Jeff. Not currently. Stay tuned on that. Will we ever sell skins? Maybe. Again, I know that some people bought skins and want different skins or just want different options for skins too. Maybe yours is sort of getting stale to you now. Like you liked it originally and now you want something different. I get it. Especially with the fact that it's sort of potentially just a one-time purchase, right? For some people, we'd love to give you sort of skin options, right? Extremely happy. Awesome, Majanian. Great. Fantastic picture, by the way. Bought the game. It's pretty cool. Great. Yes. Enjoy Rising Hell this weekend for sure. If you haven't picked it up yet, highly suggest it. For $12.99, that's a ridiculous price for this game, too. The moment I saw this price, I was like, I love it. That's I can't believe it's not double that price, honestly. So for what you get, it's amazing. This game has so much content, too. So much replayability. Those leaderboards people are going to keep ranking up on those leaderboards. And there's 16 of them for you to sort of pick and choose from if you like a certain style better than others. Mike, fly safe. Have a good weekend. I think you're flying to Florida, I think, is what I heard last. All right. Any other questions before we call it a day? Let me see one question in the chat. If not, we're good here. It's been like an hour. I won't hold you guys any longer. Enjoy your games. All right. I think that's it. I think we'll call it here. All right. But good week, though, everybody, right? So keep in mind, remember, if you haven't updated yet, definitely update to 9008000. That firmware is extremely, sorry, before I cough, I'm just going to drink this. That's right. Let's get this weekend started, Kev. But yeah, so try out Rising Hell. It's right behind me right now, too. Try out Rising Hell. Ninja Kids, again, out today, too. Play around with Scanlines, Pixel Perfect, or smoothing if you want smoothing instead, too. Smoothing's still there for the classic arcade games. Play around with the Scanlines, though. Let me know options, stuff like that, too. Come better prepared next week with questions. I don't know. But we'll see. Maybe next week I can add some new Scanlines or show you some different features as far as those things go, too. Again, this is the base level. I kind of want to play around with them a lot. So, and we'll see. We'll see. I would love to just keep giving you options. But, of course, that's pretty much it. Updates for Mariaza Cops, update for Jukebox Mode, update for Dragon's Lair 2, and Space Ace. Again, the last three, Dragon's Lair 2, and Space Ace are not game-changing. They're just simply back-end things that you won't notice. That's it. So update whenever you can. Always keep things updated, honestly. There's a reason that we update things. So, and on top of that, update Jukebox. Have fun this weekend. Have fun this weekend with Jukebox. Halloween parties and stuff coming up, too, if you're entertaining guests. Definitely suggest using that Jukebox mode. Play some Monster Mash through this thing. Crank it up all the way to 11. It's great. But yeah, until then, I will play you all out with my new favorite game right now, which, of course, is this. But I will see you all next Friday. Of course, I played the wrong video. Why wouldn't I end playing the wrong video, right? This is the right one.
Rising Hell.